Hello everyone, WallaceMan105 here, and today we are in a very special version of my testing world where I've edited the data to enable the experimental changes from 24W33A. And we're going to see what has changed in some of my minecart builds. And the first thing I've noticed is that the minecart for this little ramp here is gone. And it would seem that the new ramping mechanic allows minecarts to phase through blocks. I cannot imagine that's the intended feature. Oh. Interesting. Can we manually make a chair like this? If we do it this way. Needs work, but it's an interesting way to make a chair. So, bugs with ramping aside, what I really want to make sure of is oh. That's not right at all. Alright, unpowered rails don't seem to stop minecarts when they're tilted. Okay, so stopping power of powered rails doesn't seem to work when going downhill, which is not totally ideal. That's kind of when you need brakes the most. If I do this... Oh, so they do get stopped. Interesting. So why isn't it working there? Maybe it just doesn't have enough time to stop because it's still adjusting its... Well... Okay, now it is. Okay, that is an incredibly inconsistent mechanic. Also, the player's position here is super inaccurate and also kind of distracting. Let's double check here if this wrong way cart filter still works. Okay. Carts are overlapped here. And if we go this way... Oh! Oh, that was so smooth! It didn't do the typical, like, jitter that it has when... Ooh. The cart didn't do the usual jitter it does when you set this up. Also worth noting, on the uphill, the minecarts are allowed to overlap completely in the same block. I know that overlapping carts is something they wanted to address here. But it seems like if you just have them stop on the same rail, they'll do it anyway. That's probably not the intended feature. It's also very fascinating to see the facing angle of the minecart from this blue line here. But that's actually incredible that it doesn't twitch anymore. It's good to know. How about this build? Okay, that works. Can't. Oh, that's so smooth! I will say it's weird that placing them on diagonal rails does not cause them to tilt until they begun to move forward. And a player hitting W just causes them to ignore the fact that they are, in fact, on unpowered rails. So that's not great. Alright. Let's check out if the rail roundabout is now working. Straightforward. Nice. Snappy. Good. Let's do a left turn. Good. All right. It's funny because I just did all these videos tutorialing the functions of minecarts, so I have a whole bunch of stuff set up ready to go to test and demonstrate different minecart properties. Let's try... Now, normally, since we are facing north here, carts that snap onto this track with momentum are going to default to south or east. So they should go this way from these here. Okay, it's now going north. Now, you could invert this by having them go into a slanted rail. No, they're just defaulting to going north. What about this guy? Going north. If this is a downhill, it'll still go... Oh my god. That is interesting. Even if it's going into a downhill rail at this angle, it'll still default to north. Interesting. Now, I have here a setup ready for testing each of the minecart types to check their speeds and how long they will hold their momentum. So let's check this. Again, it is so weird that there's that delay where they stop, then turn, and then go. But let's see this. Alright, that seems to be the same. So it looks like they're holding their momentum the same. I haven't messed with the max speed yet. But let's try an occupied cart. So under previous tests, this would have kept me going all the way to that block at the end, and in fact, I would have hit it. So we're going farther than the empty chest cart, which was the previous champion. And it looks like we might... Yep, we're going to hit the block, but we're not going to have a momentum to bounce backwards. So that's still the same. Woo! That's interesting. So detector rails not working uphill is still the same. It's fascinating that this now gives enough acceleration on the ramp. Interesting. These here were previously methods for demonstrating shunting. So you would need a regular cart here. And then you would push the furnace cart into it, and they would shunt, but this... Okay, so shunting is just completely gone and removed. That's interesting. They are freely passing through each other. And, of course, we have the guy phasing into blocks there. I'm assuming this hasn't changed. Yep. Solid block still provides propulsion. Transparent block does not. Okay. Block stops apparently no longer work. The cart will not stop here because of this block. That's actually kind of... That kind of breaks a lot of stuff. Carts won't do it with chests. Will a player cart? It will not. Okay. That's actually kind of concerning. Block stops are important because they're generally a really nice automated way of stopping your cart precisely. So that might be something that doesn't work very well. Let's see if my stairwell design works. Okay, good. Good. See how this handles? Ooh, and that's not right. Previously, if you had done this, your cart would have turned 90 degrees, but now it just takes the 45. So that's interesting. If they're only taking a 45-degree turn when there's no other rail, that's so interesting. I wonder if this method will still work then. As much as I dislike this method, I don't necessarily want it to die. Okay, let's go ahead and test these. This no longer works. I remember now why I was using chest carts. But that's actually a huge development here. If these guys no longer work like that, curved tracks are dead with this. Interesting. I'm not cut up about it because, like I've said in previous videos, I don't love this method. It's super janky, and I would prefer to have something better and more consistent. But yeah, these tracks now perform identically to straight tracks. That's kind of huge. With an occupied card on the diagonal here. Oh, we've got some jiggling now. Previously, it would ignore the actual directions of the track and keep you in a nice, straight, smooth motion, despite the appearance of the track. But now, you can see the blue line, we've got a little bit of jiggling back and forth. So that's something that would need to get patched out. Alright, let's try this time delay stop. This is an automatic station that keeps you there for a short moment of time. And let's see if this powers it from that angle. It does. Now let's see if these rails stop the cart. They do. They seem to be a lot more grabby, but we had that inconsistency in the beginning, so I'm curious what's going on there. We'll try this one. Okay. Working out well. Seems to be just as fast as ever. Ooh, that should have stopped us. Let's see. If I fill this with items, will that stop it? Oh. Oh, that's weird. Which direction is this going to go in? Because it should go down that way. Nope. That's not right. Alright, I don't know if this is because of the redstone experiments or what, but this is a little different. The elevator works fine, it's just this freight stopper that's having some problems. See, this is something that shouldn't be happening. We should not be yo-yoing like this back and forth. It seems like if they're placed on the diagonal, they seem to have some trouble. This is so weird. Why are they doing that? Alright, let's try and go to a station. Track F? Alright. Alright, so this is still working. We're still going to the desired track. Although I don't have it powered. But my chief concern from all this testing is the fact that dip stops are suddenly inconsistent. I have a feeling it's because if they try to stop and their hitbox is past that of the downward sloped rail, they're not having... I think that's where the math is going wrong. Because you see, as soon as it hits the halfway point here, it comes to a really abrupt stop. One last test here that's interesting to note is that you now no longer have conflicts with solid blocks on corners and minecarts being able to make their turns. Previously, if you did this with these blocks here, the minecart would hit them and stop. So it's very interesting that this is apparently working now. Alright guys, that's going to do it for the experiments today. I do intend to keep doing experiments every time they update these minecart options. And I intend to keep contributing to different suggestions. The next video I have coming out, hopefully going to be coming out tomorrow, is going to be my personal wish list for the eventual rail update that these features will supposedly lead into. And, you know, just everything I'd like to see in that. So, guys, that's going to be it for today. Until next time, have fun. This has been Wallace. And remember to take it easy.